Have you ever had a thought that just wouldn't leave your head? It's a passing idea that suddenly felt so real, so powerful, it almost seemed to take on a life of its own. What if I told you that this isn't just a feeling? What if our thoughts, those silent conversations we have with ourselves, are actually the architects of our reality? This might sound like something out of a fantasy novel, but today we're going to explore the incredible science and ancient wisdom that suggests our thoughts are far more powerful than we ever imagined. We're diving deep into how what you think literally shapes the world you experience. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change everything. There's an old story that beautifully illustrates this idea. It's about a wise priest and his young, eager disciple. One day, the disciple approached the priest, looking troubled. "Master," he said, "you speak of the power of thought, but I find my mind is a chaotic storm. I try to focus on peace, but I'm distracted by worries about tomorrow and regrets about yesterday. How can I ever manifest anything good when my thoughts are so scattered?" The priest smiled gently and handed the disciple a small, smooth stone. "Take this stone," he instructed. "For the next week, I want you to carry it with you everywhere. Your only task is to be aware of this stone. When you wake, think of the stone. When you eat, feel its weight in your pocket. Before you sleep, hold it in your hand. Do not try to force any other thoughts. Just keep your awareness on this single stone." The disciple was confused. How could focusing on a simple stone help him master his mind? But he trusted his master. For the first few days, it was difficult. His mind would wander constantly. He'd forget about the stone for hours at a time. But he persisted. He kept bringing his attention back again and again to that single, simple object. Slowly, something began to shift. The stone started to feel like an anchor in the chaotic sea of his thoughts. Its coolness, its smoothness, its silent presence became a point of focus. By the end of the week, his awareness of the stone was almost effortless. He returned to the priest a new sense of calm about him. "Master," he said, "I understand. By focusing my attention on one simple thing, my mind grew quiet. The storm has calmed." The priest nodded. "You have learned the first step, concentration. Now imagine if you were to give that same focused, unwavering attention not to a stone, but to a goal, a dream, a feeling of joy or gratitude. When you pour your mental energy into one single point, you're not just thinking about it, you are energizing it. You are breathing life into it. That is how thoughts begin to create reality. This story isn't just a nice parable. It's a lesson in the mechanics of manifestation. The disciple's mind, once scattered like sunlight through a prism, became a focused laser beam. And that focused energy is the key. So, how does this work from a scientific standpoint? Are our thoughts really sending out signals to the universe? Let's break it down. At the most fundamental level, everything is energy. You, me, the chair you're sitting on, the air you're breathing is all vibrating at different frequencies. Quantum physics tells us that the universe is not made of solid things, but of energy fields and probabilities. An atom is 99.999% empty space. The solidness we perceive is just energy vibrating at a particular frequency. Our thoughts are also a form of energy. Neurological activity in the brain creates measurable electrical currents. These brainwaves beta, alpha, theta, delta have their own frequencies. When you have a thought, you are generating an electrical impulse, a vibration. A consistent thought pattern, therefore, creates a consistent vibrational state. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you want to listen to a classical music station, you have to tune your radio to that specific frequency. You can't be tuned to a rock station and expect to hear Mozart. In the same way, if you want to experience joy, abundance, and success, you need to tune your own vibrational frequency to match them. How do you do that? It's through your dominant thoughts and feelings. This is where the law of attraction gets its scientific legs. It's not magic, it's physics. Like attracts like. A consistent thought of gratitude emits a high-frequency vibration. According to this principle, that high frequency will then attract other things vibrating at a similar frequency, more things to be grateful for. Conversely, a constant state of fear or complaint emits a low-frequency vibration, attracting more experiences that validate those feelings. You are a living, breathing transmission tower, broadcasting a signal to the universe 24/7. The question is, what signal are you sending? Beyond the quantum level, there is a much more grounded and clinically proven model that shows how our thoughts create our reality. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. CBT is one of the most effective treatments for anxiety and depression, and its core principle is simple. Our thoughts create our feelings. Our feelings create our behaviors, and our behaviors create our life experience. Let's look at the CBT model. It goes like this: situation, thought, feeling, behavior. Notice that the situation itself doesn't directly cause the feeling. It's the thought, the interpretation of the situation that is the crucial link. For example, imagine two people get an email from their boss that just says, "I need to see you in my office at 4 p.m. Person A's immediate thought is, "Oh no, I'm in trouble. I must have messed something up. I'm probably going to get fired." This thought generates feelings of anxiety, fear, and dread. For the rest of the day, their behavior is affected. They can't focus. They snap at their colleagues, and they walk into the boss's office at 4 p.m. looking nervous and defeated. Now, person B gets the exact same email. Their thought is, "Oh, interesting. I wonder what this is about. Maybe it's about that new project I proposed. This could be a great opportunity." This thought generates feelings of curiosity, anticipation, and even excitement. Their behavior is productive. They spend the afternoon preparing their notes on the project, and they walk into the boss's office at 4 p.m. looking confident and prepared. This situation was identical. The reality each person experienced in the hours leading up to that meeting was completely different, and it was determined entirely by a single initial thought. That thought created a different emotional state, which drove a different set of actions, which will inevitably lead to a different outcome. Now, multiply that effect by the thousands of thoughts we have every single day. You can see how our internal narrative literally builds the world we live in, brick by brick. We are constantly proving our own beliefs to be true through our behavior. So, the big question is, how do we become the masters of this process? How do we go from being a passive passenger on a train driven by our habitual thoughts to being the conductor, choosing the destination? The first step is awareness. You can't change a thought pattern you don't know you have. This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is simply the act of paying attention to your thoughts without judgment. Think of yourself as a scientist observing your own mind. You're not trying to stop the thoughts or criticize them. You're just noticing them. Ah, there's that worry about money again. Interesting. I'm having a thought about judging that person. There's that old memory of embarrassment. You can start by setting aside just 5 minutes a day. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and just observe the thoughts that drift by like clouds in the sky. This simple act creates a space between you, the observer, and your thoughts. In that space lies your power. You begin to realize you are not your thoughts. You are the one who hears them. Once you have this awareness, the next step is to consciously choose your focus. This is where we go back to the story of the disciple and the stone. We need to intentionally direct our mental energy towards what we want, not what we don't want. A powerful technique for this is called thought reframing. When you catch yourself having a negative, disempowering thought, you consciously reframe it. For example, if you catch the thought, "I'm never going to be able to do this. It's too hard," you can stop and reframe it to something like, "This is challenging, and I'm learning how to master it one step at a time." Or if you think, "I'm so unlucky," you can reframe it to, "What can I learn from this situation? What opportunity is hidden here?" This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending problems don't exist. It's about shifting your perspective from one of a victim to one of a creator. It's about asking better questions. A question like, "Why does this always happen to me?" leads you down a path of powerlessness. A question like, "What can I do differently next time?" leads you down a path of empowerment. Another crucial tool is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is the ultimate high-frequency state. It's neurologically impossible to be anxious or angry while you are genuinely feeling grateful. Start a gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 to 5 things you're thankful for. It doesn't have to be big things. The taste of my morning coffee, the warmth of the sun, a smile from a stranger. This practice literally rewires your brain to look for the good. It trains your reticular activating system, the filter in your brain that determines what you pay attention to scan for positives instead of negatives. Before you know it, you'll start seeing things to be grateful for everywhere. So let's bring this all together. Your life as you are experiencing it right now is a direct reflection of your past dominant thoughts. The good, the bad, all of it. This isn't a reason for blame or regret. It's a reason for empowerment. Because if your past thoughts created your present, then your present thoughts are creating your future. Right now, in this very moment, you are planting the seeds for the life you will be living tomorrow, next week, and next year. You are not a victim of circumstance. You're the artist, and your thoughts are the paintbrush. You are the composer, and your thoughts are the notes. The universe is not happening to you. It is responding to you. Every thought is a cause, and every condition is an effect. Start today. Pay attention. Notice the stories you tell yourself. Are they lifting you up or holding you down? Choose your focus with intention. Practice gratitude like it's your job. Reframe your challenges into opportunities. Be the gatekeeper of your own mind, because your mind is the gateway to your reality. The power to shape your world, to create a future filled with joy, success, and fulfillment has been inside you all along. It's time to start using it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the power of the mind.